Hey guys, my name is Sandy. I'm doing a video for you today on what happens after a missed mortgage payment. Alright, let's get into it. Remember to like and share our videos, guys, and you can click on the little notification bell so you'll be notified every time we come out with a new video. So we're in a very crazy market right now. It's July 2025. Interest rates are high. Things are getting a little bit tough for some people. A lot of political craziness going on, wars, all kind of stuff. People are scared. People don't want to spend. People are getting laid off. So what happens if you miss your mortgage payment? Well, the first thing you got to come up with is, do I want to keep this house? Can I afford to keep this house or can I not? If you can't afford to keep the home, you may want to start to make arrangements to get the home sold so that you don't keep missing the payments, right? So you got to figure out, is this just a glitch? Is this just a 30-day thing that will be corrected? Or is this going to be a snowball effect and I need to sell the property? That's very super important. So once you miss once you miss your mortgage payment, or you know you're going to miss the mortgage payment, the first thing to do is to call the lender and see if you could work something out. If indeed you figure, I want to keep the home, I don't want to sell it. So talk with the lender. They might be able to do a forbearance like they were doing a lot of during COVID. They might be able to do a forbearance where they will add the missing payment to the back of the mortgage payment, or they might spread the missing payment over the course of 12 months. So if it's only one missed mortgage payment, they might do that for you. The reason why you want to call them is if you are 30 days behind, let's say you're 30 days behind and the next month you paid, but you're still 30 days behind and you keep being 30 days behind, it's going to keep affecting your credit score. A missed mortgage payment affects your credit score a lot. It takes a big hit. And if it becomes a snowball effect where you keep being a month behind, that's going to really and truly affect your credit score. Not only that, the lender is going to keep putting late fees on, because every time you're 30 days late, they're going to have they actually add the late fee after you're 15 days late. So after you're 15 days late, they're going to have the late fee. You're 30 days late, they're going to keep adding that. So that's going to keep adding up to your balance as well. So once you know you're going to miss a payment, you're going to want to go ahead of the curve, call the lender and discuss what are your, what do you have? Or can they give you a forbearance? Can they allow you 3 months to catch up and have that 3 months mortgage payment on the back of the loan? Or can they divide the 3 months into 12 months, add it to your regular payment for you to pay them off? Lenders, because of what happened in 08 and 09, now we all know, if we're in the market 08 or 09, the lender didn't want to talk to you. All they said was, hey, when are you going to make the payment? You owe this. And they were just very vigilant on that. I think they have all learned a lesson from that. So now if you're going to be late or you're behind, they're more willing to work with you. At least most banks are. If they're, if you're reasonable, not just, well, I can't pay it, so what are you going to do kind of thing. You don't want to call them with that. You want to call them with, hey, I'm 30 days late. I'm having a little issue here, blah, 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 and see what they could work out. If you lost your job, they're going to want to know if you got another job, if you are in line to get another job, because that's the first thing they're going to ask you is, well, do you have another job lined up? If you don't have another job lined up, or you're not going towards a job, they might be telling you, well, you may want to sell the property, right? So we don't know. So this is going to be based upon your individual situation. But if you're 30 days late, let's play the scenario out. You're 30 days late, the bank is going to start saying you have a missed payment. Let's say you ignore them. I'm ignoring you, we'll figure it out. When you get to 60 days late, they're going to start sending even more letters. You're going to get more phone calls because now you're 60 days late. And now they're thinking this loan may end up in foreclosure. So you may want to call them at this point. Let's say you didn't. Now you're 90 days late. At 90 days is when they're going to start some kind of foreclosure thing. They're going to start they're going to get a BPO done, which is a broker's price opinion. So it's a drive-by where they're going to have a real estate agent drive by the home and give them a price of opinion of what the price of the property could be. They're also wanting to find out what kind of condition is the property in. Does it look lived in or not? Because let's say you're not contacting them. So if you're not contacting them, they're going to want to figure out what's going on with the property at the 90 day. And at that point, you might get a letter with the intent of foreclosure. So at 90 days, you will more than likely get a letter of the intent of foreclosure. At this point, you could probably still save the property if you call the lender. But you don't want to get it to 90 days. You want to kick it in the butt at 30 days. If it's getting to 30 days and you're like, you know what? What are we doing? Are we keeping the property or are we selling the property? If you're selling the property, you want to get a realtor on the job real quickly, because since it's a deferred payment, it's a back payment, you're late on the mortgage, there's some certain things that will happen within the mortgage department, your lender department, it's going to say it's a pre-foreclosure. They're going to start putting a pre-foreclosure bracket. So you may want to have a professional help you to sell the property. If you decide to sell the property yourself and you're in an area that you think you could sell it yourself, price it a little bit below value to get it sold as soon as possible, because you don't want these late payments to keep ending up on your credit report. And every time you miss a month's mortgage, it's going to be a late payment fee as well. It's normally a percentage of the principal. You don't want that to happen, right? So you want to nip it in the bud as soon as you can. So 30 days late, the bank is sending up a red flag. They're going to start contacting you. Hey, can we help you? 60 days, they're going to assign it to somebody in their department to follow up with you to try to get payment done or make some kind of payment arrangement or something. 90 days, definitely pre-foreclosure. They're going to start filing with the courts, and you're going to get a notice in the mail. So to prevent that from happening, decide if you're going to sell or keep. If you're going to sell, put it on the market immediately, sell it immediately. If you are going to keep, call them and make a payment arrangement of some kind. If you don't know what you want to do, you're like, well, I just lost my job. I have no idea if I want to keep or sell, but I don't know what to do, because if I sell it, where am I going to live? So it could be where you could sell it and rent for a while, or maybe sell it and get something cheaper based upon your situation. So if you're in a home, you could probably sell it and get a townhome instead, or a condo instead, or lower it down or rent. So these are all stuff that you're going to have to play with. It's going to be very upsetting, and I know it, because I was in the market during the 08 and 09 market crash. I know how upsetting it is. But the thing is, you got to be proactive though. Like, you cannot just bury your head in the sand and say whatever happens, happens, because it's going to happen against you. If you're going to say whatever happens, happens, then everything's going to go against you. If you become proactive, there's ways to save it. You might be able to sell it, get some money from the sale, and move on with your life. Whether you want to rent, whether you want to buy something smaller, whether you want to wait until you get another job, if it's a case of a job loss, maybe it's a divorce. We don't know. Life happens. None of us can predict these things in life, but we want to be proactive and act accordingly. So if you see you're going to work, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay the mortgage this month. First thing you do is call the bank. You want to work in conjunction with the lender, because they're the one that holds the golden bag, right? They have the mortgage. They could decide what they want to do. If you're like, hey, listen, I just lost my job. I really want to keep my home. I'm looking for another job. I am going to be 30 days late. Is there something we could work out? Can you give me a forbearance to give me time to get a job and to catch up back on my payment? This is exactly what they did in COVID. They're still doing it. You could ask for that. You might be able to move out of the home and rent it, because maybe you could move to rent a smaller apartment or a smaller home. Maybe the rent you get at this home, you'll be able to cover the mortgage and still pay some of your rent elsewhere. That's also an idea. So moving out and renting it may be a great idea to save the home itself until you get your foot back on the ground, where you could come back, the lease ends, you could come back into your home if you wanted to. But back in 08, some people did move out of their home, rent it, and they went somewhere else. They were paying the rent. Because I know you're going to say, yeah, they move it and they don't pay the rent. And no. I'm saying to rent the home. If indeed you think you could get enough rent to cover the mortgage and have a little bit left over to cover the rent a smaller apartment if you can, for you to move out to, and then rent the home that you're behind on so you could catch up, right? That's one way of doing it too, if you have that option. So you're going to have to discuss all these different options, guys. What do we want to do? Are we going to keep it? Are we going to let it? Are we going to sell it? Some people know that they have to sell, know they can't afford the home, but they just can't, they can't reach that decision. There's something like, but I don't want to sell my home. I want it, but then I can't afford to keep it. Don't be that person, because what's going to happen is you're going to end up in foreclosure, and then you're going to really be upset. So why not sell it when you can, either just to pay the bank off so it doesn't ruin your credit, or sell it and make some kind of money from it, and then rent until you get yourself back on your feet, or get some money and buy a smaller property. Or we have to make some kind of decision. We cannot just bury our head in the sands. So my thing is, if you are 30 days late on your mortgage, the bank is going to start look at why are you late. Work with the lender. Listen, whoever you call will not be able to help you like the lender can. If you want somebody to call on behalf of you, you could give them that right, give them the permission to call your lender because you don't want to deal with the bank. But call the lender based on what's going on. When you're going to call the lender and say, hey, I just lost my job, I'm going to sell the property, the bank is going to ask you, do you have a realtor already? Get a realtor involved, sell it. Or, hi, I just lost my job, I want to keep my home, can you work with me? What are my options in you working with me to keep this home? If you call the bank at the first 30 days, because this is the first initial late payment, if you call the bank at this point in time, they're going to be more willing to help you, and they're going to have more flexibility in helping you than if you let it get to 3 months or more. Because after 3 months, it's foreclosure zone, and all they're looking at is foreclosing on the property, and it's harder, unless you file bankruptcy, it's harder to save the home once it gets to that point. I know we're in an environment right now when these things could and will happen. If it's about to happen, you got to make some decisions. If you want us to help you, we are great with this. We were here in the 2008, 2009, 2010 market crash. So you could give us a call, send us a text. Number should be somewhere up here, somewhere below. We could do a complimentary consultation with you. No judgment, no nothing. We understand. We have been there, done that. So if you are facing that situation, or you're about to face that situation, you don't want to keep it to yourself. You want to call your lender. You want to seek professional help. You want to, maybe talk to a realtor. Hey, how much is the home worth? This is how much I owe in the mortgage. How much money you think I'll get if I sell it? And then you decide if that amount of money will help you to move to another property, either to buy another property or to rent a property until you get your feet back on the ground. But don't just ignore it, guys. Don't put your head in the sand. The banks will help. The lenders will help. And if you have to sell, just sell. And a lot of realtors, like we do, we work with people in deficiency a lot of times to help them either out of the problem, talk with the lender, or sell the property, rent something else, buy something smaller, or maybe move out, rent a smaller place, rent the house out because you're able to get enough rent to cover the mortgage and help you with the rent that you're paying as well. I hope this helped, guys. If you want to discuss this further, feel free to send a text, give us a call. I normally am better answering the 845 number, and I know there's 2 numbers up. There's going to be an 845. This is that's my New York number because I used to live in New York, and a 407 number. The 845 number is always on me. It's my cell phone. The 407 is our office number, but it's also a cell phone. It also has texting capability. But if you're in this situation, I beg of you, don't just lose your house to the bank in foreclosure. Either sell it or save it. There are ways of doing this. Don't bury your head in the sand. I plead with you. Get something, do something. Call somebody, get some help, text us. We will help you. Hold your hand through the process. Just decide if you want to keep the home or if not. But 30 days late, there's some moving parts that's going to happen with your lender. 60 days late, they're going to assign a rep to contact you directly. It will be assigned to somebody. 90 days late, they're going to send a letter of intent of foreclosure to that property or to your mailing address. You don't want it to get there. If it's already there, it's fine. We could catch it back together. We could still call the lender. We could still help you to sell the home because it's not foreclosed yet. But at 30 days is where you have more play. So based upon where you are, maybe it's 6 months right now. Maybe you're 6 months behind and you're still figuring out what to do. The longer you wait, the more than likely you will lose the home unless you file bankruptcy. People don't want to file bankruptcy. That's the only way to stop the bank in its track from a foreclosure. I'm not telling you to do that. What I am telling you to do is to get help before it gets to that point. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Remember to reach out to us if you want to talk about you're late on your mortgage payment. What should you do? Give us a call. Send us a text. I'll be here with you. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video.